There was a time when I would have said that worship was something that I did on Sundays. Growing up, I thought worship meant to go to church, sing a few songs, and listen to the pastor's sermon. Worship is much more. Romans 12:1 describes a worship that takes place every minute of every day. The passage says, "In view of the mercies of God, offer your body as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true worship." So what does worship mean to me now? I heard Pastor Louie Giglio say these words: worship is simply about value. Worship is our response to what we value most. When I heard those words, they pierced my heart, and it is now what I live by. Worship goes beyond music. It goes beyond the four walls of the church. It means living my life in such a way that brings glory to God. If I truly believe that God had great mercy on me, a sinner, and that Jesus Christ sacrificed his life because of my sins, then I can live like a new person. I can respond to God's great love in a way that pleases him. That should not only be on Sunday during congregational worship, but it should also be done every day of the week and in every situation. The choices I make, the work that I do, the way that I serve others, the attitude that I have, all these common everyday thoughts and actions are either worship of God or worship of self. We must choose to worship. Whatever we worship, we become. We have options to worship anything we want, but there is always a twist to the choice. Whatever we worship, we become obsessed with. Whatever we become obsessed with, we imitate. Whatever we imitate, we become. Whatever we value most will ultimately determine who we are. As my journey with Christ has grown and my role as a worship leader has blossomed, I have found that it is important to not camouflage the flawed human being that I am during my moments of leading. Thorns and all, I have a right to God's presence that has been afforded to me through redemption. I have witnessed the purging, purification, cleansing of the heart, and the renewing of the mind, which are the results of a true worship encounter. Through my worship, I want to help someone else experience him. I can say from my experience that I have been broken, but through every breaking, worship has been the one thing that has carried me through. In my breaking, I learned that it created space for God to fill me. In the breaking, I was emptied of hurt, shame, and guilt, and was filled with his love and acceptance. Something I find important is the phrase always instead of sometimes. Worship is something that is personal between me and God, between you and God. Participating in personal worship on a consistent basis should be the intent of our worship. True worship is what you do always, not sometimes. When you feel like it, you worship. When you don't feel like it, you still worship. Why? Because worship is not a matter of moods and emotionalism, but a pure desire to pray and explore the unknown about God. A true worshiper is someone who views worship as a must-do, not because it's an obligation. We understand that it is an honor to have undeniable access through grace into God's presence. When is the last time you worshiped because you wanted to, and not because you were instructed to or felt like you had to? Leading up to this LiveStream worship event, I want you to know that God is always seeking you. Every sunset, every clear blue sky, every ocean wave, the starry host of the night, he blankets each new day with the invitation, I am here. I want you to worship with me. Worship our Creator, our Father, our Advocate. I want you to really think about who he has been to you and all he has done for you. And I want our response to be pure worship, both personal and corporate, to him for who he is, what he has done, and what he is doing right now. I want our worship to him to be expressed in and by the things we say and the way we live our life. Will you worship with me?